caused the economic crash of 2008. The short version is a crash in the United States housing market. The housing market is ginormous. It's $52 trillion. Total apartment value is about $14 trillion, so we're talking $66 trillion of housing. That is 2.5 times larger than the United States GDP. So when that crashed in America, everything crashed. What made it even worse was that there was trillions of dollars of financial instruments invested in the values and mortgages of these homes. We call these financial instruments derivatives. They are a type of financial contract whose value is dependent on an underlying asset. In this case, it would be homes. In the 1980s, banks decided to make bonds out of mortgages from people who have incredible credit. They were called mortgage-backed security, and they were looked at as something that could not fail. And these bonds are a derivative because they were derived off of the mortgage payments. Eventually, these bonds sold like hotcakes, but there is only a certain number of people with great mortgages that you can make bonds out of. Banking firms started making these bonds out of people's mortgages who had not so great credit. Of course, every president at the time wants home ownership to keep going up under his term. Banks were given the go-ahead to give out home loans as easy as possible. Some of these loans were for 100% or more of the home's value for people with questionable credit. Few people were worried about these subprime mortgages being given out so easy because a lot of them, along with most of the mortgages, were guaranteed by two government mortgage agencies, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. At the time, they guaranteed about 50% of all U.S. mortgages. And it wasn't just banks and risky investors that were buying these poor securities. They were mutual funds, corporate assets, and pension funds. And everyone thought that these investments were going to be perfectly safe because they had a form of insurance. The group that supplied this type of insurance was called AIG, American Insurance Group. And the top 3 ratings agencies were in on this too.